Work as semi-truck tech. Get paid less than an average cashier at a supermarket. Always stressed, tired, and beat up physically. They change my schedule. Fuck it, I'm out. Hand my resignation paper to whoever. Didn't give a fuck. Finally free. No plan, no job. Enjoy life for 1 month. Start an online business with the last dollar I've got. It's a success. Enjoy life doing fucking nothing all day and earning decent cash. Get fucked by Google in December.
Still working, but handed in my notice 2 weeks ago. Been working on a pretty prestigious project in the international development sector. Lots of kudos and social standing due to my job. Much of the job is pretty standard project management, budgets, meetings, small decisions that people want sign off on. Get new manager. She can't help but micromanage. Standard pieces of work that should take a week now take a month. She refuses to join meetings with other team members when she essentially decides after 3 weeks of work that we need to do the whole thing again. Refuses to engage, complains about process, arguing over the size of text fonts. Realized last year that I probably don't need job anymore, take out euros 500k from crypto, still 500k in, no regrets. Get my Brexit visa. Tell boss I'm leaving. I've given them 2 months notice because frankly I like everyone on my team except my boss, and I don't want to see the project fail, although I hate the organization, fucking useless bureaucrats.
B. Bong. Grew up in the States. Work for a British company in the States. They downsize and have to let me go, managed to get a job back at headquarters in the UK, rather than being let go. Probably the most miserable, ass-backward, inefficient work environment I could ever imagine, traditional British company. Start putting the customer first to maintain £2 to £3 million deals, rather than tell them sorry we have to push production back to suit our factory's current inventory, when it cost a couple £100 to get necessary materials there before these deal deadlines. Get irritable as fuck internally with completely backwards business practices. Boss's scrawny buck-toothed manager tries to bollock me for it with the typical thing and blinding tactic, snap and start back, and have him cowering at a wall while taunting him, cap it off with reminding him his wife left him and his kid so she could choke on some black dick. Get called into HR meeting. My boss tells me I'm too American to work there and that Yanks have no place working there. Record the whole thing on my phone, get placed on 2 weeks probation. Tell them fuck it the next day and I quit, give me my exit interview. Show up with my solicitor as a witness, play the comments back, and tell them should I have my solicitor file suit now for discrimination. They let me go and pay out the rest of my 2 remaining years on contract in lump cash the next week. Report them for defrauding the US government on defense contracts based on what I saw while working for them in the US. Uncle Sam gave me a chunk of the recovered funds as a reward. Start my own web business and never look back. Don't take shit from companies ever, you can always fuck them back harder. Always record any closed door meeting you go into in work. Read any NDA they make you sign, know what you can squeal about for profit, and completely disregard it if they're doing something illegal and you know it.
Be me. Software developer in India. Did good job and get called to Switzerland at the client location. Insane competition between the South Indians. The South Indians are willing to kill one another to extend their stay in Switzerland. I become their natural enemy as I am from the north and according to them don't fit in their culture. But the clients, the Swiss and especially the Turks, love me. My team lead, who is a Turk, told me that he thought that a Turk joined. Walla.jpg. COVID time and all the South Indians gang up to my manager and told him to send me back because he is young and he can come back later. These fucks are all over the age of 40, but still can't write a simple for loop without looking at the internet. Team lead puts his foot down and says if they send me back he is gonna leave the job too, since he gets most of the job done via me. 40% of the South Indians are sent back. Bros, it's really sad when you get hated by your own countrymen in a foreign country, but hey, I am earning over 80k a month and life is moderately comfy, so will not complain.
When I was in college I juggled 3 jobs at a time, having a stable one and taking on different ops to improve my resume. One of them was as a marketing director for a painting company. It was basically door-to-door sales, which sucked because it was the Midwest in the middle of winter and the company had a shitty rep, because they hired college kids to paint their houses and they would spill shit everywhere. I was the one that trained kids to cold call and go door to door, showing them how to not choke on words in awkward situations. One of the kids' first shot at taking the lead, the dude opened the door with piss stains down his sweats, hard not to laugh lol. Anyways, our main boss was a trust fund douchebag that would take all the credit for our work and ended up cutting our pay 50% then another 75% because he couldn't close. He would demoralize the kids I brought on, making fun of their height and calling them gay. They weren't gay, and one of the kids had a lifelong issue with his height, and I got fed up on a conference call with him and called him out. I said it was bullshit how he could treat my team the way that he did, and it was completely out of line. I was 18, he was closer to 30, so it was kinda awkward to hear that from a kid, I suppose. I think I called him a tool and said I wouldn't be coming back and wished him better luck than he's had with his lack of performance. Moral of the story, there are tons of jobs out there in the world, you're never stuck, you just entrap yourself.
Be me, young 19-yo Seahawks fan going to college first year. Have dogshit Wagie job in what's basically a nice food court. Boss was pretty chill middle-aged guy. After a couple months, chill boss gets replaced with raging fat old feminist cunt. I like football, and I'm basically the only person who works there who does, so I put in a request 4 months in advance for Super Bowl Sunday off. Cunt boss keeps pulling down my requests and saying oops. Super Bowl comes around. Seahawks just won NFCCG and are going to their first owl ever. New schedule comes out. Cunt boss scheduled me for an 8-hour dishwashing shift that starts 10 minutes before kickoff. No call, no show. Get a call from work as I'm watching pre-game. Cunt boss is furious and I can hear the dishwasher in the background. She went out of her way to fuck me, but since I no call no showed, it all came down on her. Fat cunt has to spend 8 hours doing the fucking dishes in the back by herself. Says if I don't come down now she's taking me off the schedule, firing me. I say okay and hang up. Luckily that experience made me completely forget about the abortion that was Superb Owl XL.
I'm going to tell you the story of when I quit shilling Comcast services. Be me unemployed. See ad on Indeed about making $30K a year as a manager. Fill out forms and get a call a day later. Company takes me on as an observer for a day, asking me questions and explaining how I'm paid. Commission. I stick it out to see what it's like. First week they hire 5 people including me. Third day into the job 2 people walk out. Fourth day I struck a sale and feel good about myself until I get to the office and they are coddling some person about not making a sale. Fifth day it's just me and that other person. Finally asked around when do we start getting checks. Get told that we need to make a certain amount before they do that. Get home and make something to eat. 8 p.m. I get a call about my goals at work and consider it the final straw. Walk into the office in a regular tee and basketball shorts and quit on the spot. Manager tries to convince me to stay and I'll be making money in a week. Nope, out of that and start doing Uber Eats deliveries. Moral of the story is that you can only put up with so much BS, but if you're getting a steady check just listen to music and you'll be alright.
HR reprimand because I didn't take part in the annual company talent show.
HR sat me down and asked me if I had personal issues because I didn't participate in the White Elephant gift swap Zoom meeting.
I got called in for an urgent meeting with one of the big wigs at work and multiple calls urging me to answer the phone and respond to their messages from manager, supervisor, and other head person. I sleep during the day, so I was quite shaker to wake up and see so many blowing up my phone. The fact none addressed what it was about added to my worries. Turns out I was accused of raping a client indirectly. Not many males at my company, but the timelines fit such that I most certainly had some type of interaction at that during the time it supposedly occurred. Fortunately there were many holes and inconsistencies in the story such that it could not have happened as it was described, so it was written off as fanciful imagination at best and someone with BPD, bad person disorder, who hasn't learned how to lie well yet at worst. It's not my first Me Too, but I've wised up and always force another person to be in the room with me when dealing with a younger female. Were it not for what people knew about my character, the fact I'm married, and that the alleged victim was just a little over 400 pounds, it could have turned out a lot worse. They scared me shitless because I always have anxiety about fucking something up or costing the company money due to my mistake. I should not have felt this way, but I was incredibly relieved to hear it was just another rape accusation. Work is too stressful, and even when you clock out they find ways to torment you. I understand formalities, but obviously no one would rape such a person, even if her story were possible. If they're actually concerned, it should be handled as a criminal matter. Not as some company investigation to see if any policies were being broken by raping a client. I want out of waging as soon as possible. It's bad enough on its own, but then you get curveballs like this. You can never relax.
Early last year, a closet hardcore feminist friend of mine, I didn't know she was a closet feminist, was complaining about how she doesn't get listened to in board meetings and how people steal her ideas. She never shuts up in board meetings BTW. I told her that I really don't think our company is sexist at all, and that a lot of companies these days actually favor hiring women because they have diversity quotas to meet and etc. At the time, it really just seemed like any other normal conversation we would have. But boy was I wrong. She complained relentlessly about it to her also feminist and overweight team manager, and they both launched a huge fucking smear campaign across the office to try and get me moved off all of my projects to women-led teams so I could learn to work with women, which fortunately, they failed to achieve thanks to my existing project leads defending me staying. However, the manager did give me the shittiest performance review, despite my performance for the year being leagues ahead of my direct peers, something which everyone knows and would acknowledge fast. The reason being I had values that weren't coherent with the values of the business. I had to sit and grit my teeth listening to her say this bullshit to me in the review. And even worse, I found out a few weeks later she had already secured a new job and was due to leave, so she was literally just trying to fuck me as much as possible before leaving. Last time I ever talked to any woman about that ever again, learn from me anons. Even the seemingly cool ones can be closet feminist crazies. I should add too, the closet feminist friend outright lied about reporting me for it and claimed that someone else must have overheard it and reported it because I wouldn't do that to you.
I'm to break out the worst thing that I've ever had the displeasure of witnessing at work. Hello Anon. Wow. What a year 2020 has been. Your holiday party committee is in the process of planning this year's out of the ordinary virtual holiday party. During one of our planning meetings we began to talk about how extremely fortunate we are to work at company name. The president and the board of directors have gone above and beyond to make sure that the employees of company name have not become part of the COVID-19 statistics. We are fortunate to work for a company that put the employees' safety and comfort levels first. We all still have our jobs and throughout the pandemic have been given the flexibility our families need. I know that I speak for many when I say how grateful we are for the sacrifices the company has made to ensure we are all safe during this pandemic. As the committee talked, we thought how nice it would be for the president and the board of directors to hear that their efforts have not gone unnoticed. So the holiday party committee would like to put a video together of company employees thanking the president and the board of directors. The video will be shown during our virtual holiday party, and we would like for this to be a surprise. We are asking that as many of you as possible do a short 15-30 second video expressing your gratitude, some nice words, or even something as simple as a wave and a thank you. Be creative and feel free to include your families in the video. Company's efforts during this pandemic have not just affected us as employees, but it has impacted our families and personal lives as well. Our hope is to take each of your videos and create a touching video collage that shares how thankful and proud we all are to be part of the company family.
Be me. Pro cake baker. Bake quality birthday cake for colleague. HR notices. Ask me to bake cakes for every birthday and even create calendar with birthdays at work. Boss is a tasteless pleb who enjoys chocolate muds. Get compensated $30 for a $5 cake mix. Forget to bring cakes to work. Get to spend upwards of an hour driving to home and back. Spend upwards of an hour chatting and cleaning up cake tray at office. I was baking cakes is a legitimate excuse for late completion of work thanks to having HR ladies bullying whipped boss. Since baking started I've been getting less work. Average of 7 birthdays a month. I get paid a 6-figure systems engineer wage to spend my time baking cakes that take no time at all to make. Have I made it, bros?
I posted it on Biz last year. My company is having a virtual Santa's grotto, where you get dial into MS Teams call and speak to a company X dressed as Santa and talk about what you're doing at Christmas. You'll then get company branded swag sent to you in the mail, and you have to write a letter back thanking Santa with picture of you with your company's swag, which will be used in marketing material. I wish I was making this sub. I need the money, but this is completely clown world shit at this company.
I got to do this, but with setting up computers instead of baking. Wage slaving on large call floor in a call center building. Eventually promoted to manager. Get new team members, need to fix some of the broken old ass computers for them to use. No one can help me, eventually locate the office in the basement. Just one guy looking after the whole building pretty much. Tell him everything I need, new keyboards, monitors, RAM cards etc. hands them over without a problem. Word gets around I know how to fix computers. Managers all over are suddenly asking me to set up new PCs or fix old ones. Get them to take boring manager work from me in exchange. Eventually my team gets transferred to a new manager to give me time to focus on other projects. Fast forward a year, I have no team but officially still a manager, including pay and full bonus. I just sit around listening to podcasts and reading the news all day, occasionally setting up and fixing computers. Or very rarely helping someone with a call if their manager isn't available. Get paid more than the actual guy, who's one of my best bros in the office at this point. I eventually left the job for somewhere with better pay, but it was sweet while it lasted.
Mental Health Awareness Day event. Several professionals, consultants, experts give presentations. Ends the day with suicide risk awareness. Next Monday everyone treats me like I've just been caught sobbing in the restroom. Multiple people asking if I use Facebook so they can add me. Woman almost puts a hand on my shoulder while asking how I am.
Coworker makes fun of me because I'm balding. Everybody laugh. I make fun of her miscarrying a child in retaliation. Get reported to HR. Not my brightest moment.
HR wants to plaster faces of people from our department on company social media to boost recruitment. You can be like Anon. Mandatory to participate. Ignore it. Get a furious email from manager demanding, and I shit you not a one-page essay, why I decided not to participate. Text him I am working for a client and that I will respond when I have time. Never respond. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe.